So, one thing gotta have in your suitcase, you know, as a musician. Somebody say, "Oh, well, all right, well, be timely, right? Be punctual." But I mean, as far as playing, I mean, I know that's the business side of it. But as far as playing, your skill level, what's one thing you gotta have in your suitcase, in your arsenal?
Well, I would say one thing is, you know, develop a strong ear.
Strong ear.
And I mean, when I say develop a strong ear, I mean, you know, sit at home and do scales and go through chord progressions, go through chord inversions, and this is just me speaking as a keyboard player, but more so as a keyboard player, you know, as my fellow musicians mentioned earlier, listen to records and different fellow musicians as a band, right, so you can know how to be musical and know what transitions, how to transition in songs, right, or what transitions to listen for, because some of the transitions help you know what's coming up next, or, you know, how to color or how to answer your fellow musician if they're doing something.
So when you say color, can you give a description of that, Dwayne? Like, you're saying, hey, I got this in my suitcase. I know that this is.
So if I play, let's say, so this is a hymn. So Jesus. So if we were all to play that together, of course we'd start off very traditional. But I mean, you know, if we were all playing together, I would, you know, I may do something different, you know. Right. You know, something like that, you know, it depends on, you know, like I said, when you develop an ear, you know where to place that kind of stuff, you know.
I heard what you did there. So off that 5 on the end, before you turned around, you didn't play E flat.
Right.
It sounded like you played D?
I did, yeah, I did. So, I mean, it's just that kind of, you know, that little stuff, like develop a strong ear to, you know how to color, but know how to be tasteful when you color. Yeah. And, you know, excellent. And how to exit out of it too.
Yeah.
You know, how to get in and get out of there, you know.
So that's something that if I was, you know, to peep through your window, I would see you probably practicing something like that, you know, adding to your suitcase.
Most
I got you.
Most definitely.
Yeah, excellent. Marcus?
Something in my suitcase. I would say knowledge. I would have to keep the knowledge in my suitcase, because I think when you go to different situations, you know, if you talk about weapons of choice and, you know, like I gotta have a motif, I gotta have a rolling, or, you know, you might get into a situation when you don't have that and you have a chord. So I think if you have the knowledge, you can know how to program.
I played that board before.
Your type of stuff for your own sound, and then still be able to do you with your sound. But if
because an event may not have.
Yeah.
I got you, man. What you
I think having knowledge of what, you know, what's out there, you know, study the equipment, you know, all the organs don't sound the same. Right, all the organs are different, or, you know, you may have one that has a Leslie, or you don't have one that doesn't, you know.
Right, different type of organs.
Yeah. So, but it's just knowing, you know, having the knowledge of knowing how to still implement you in those moments.
Right?
And to take what they said to the next level, I'd say every musician should have in their bag of tricks a positive attitude, because every gig isn't going to have the sweet setup. Every church isn't going to have your back line, you know. You're going to have to sometimes play bass through the house, or you might have to plug up through a keyboard amp or something like that. So having a positive attitude makes everybody be able to get the job done more effectively, instead of just, you know, being a jerk.
Make sure you have a positive attitude.
Well, I mean, I always got a positive attitude when we do gigs together. I usually just be joking with you.
I don't know about
You know.
last week, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, he had
Off
a little,
camera.
He had a little problem.
Nah, I'm playing.
Cut the cameras. Turn it into a reality show. Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras.
Good, man.
No.
Cameron,
But yeah,
what you gotta
positive
have?
attitude.
In your suitcase. Brian says
you
you
hear
gotta
that,
have a
Dwayne?
positive
Positive
attitude.
attitude.
Positive attitude.
And then I'm gonna piggyback off of what.
You know Cameron. Woo, boy. I'm talking about that.
God bless you, Marcus. But to piggyback off of what he said something about equipment. Every musician should have equipment.
Yeah.
Because like you said, every setup is not gonna be the best.
So knowledge of different types of equipment.
Yeah. So as a drummer, the necessary things to have is, of course, sticks, a snare drum, foot pedal, cymbals.
Yeah.
Sometimes headphones, things like that. Certain churches have headphone things and stuff like that. For a drummer, also is for a drummer, our thing is keeping time, because we're the timekeeper of the entire band.
I like that.
That's one of the most important things as a drummer, is to keep time. Especially, sometimes we won't have an MPC or things like that, because sometimes the keyboard player can't play on time.
I thought the MPC man was gonna put the drummer out of work.
For some drummers, I can honestly say the MPC is like a crutch.
Yeah.
Because it kind of takes takes the weight off of them, keeping the time.
Sure.
And they rely on the MPC, because some drummers can't play without an MPC. So
And some drummers can't
play with
With us.
exactly.
Ain't that the truth?
So
Found that out.
So that's one thing you have to definitely keep is steady timing.
Yeah.
And that's what I worked on myself plenty of times with that. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that you definitely have to
Nice, man.